Hello and welcome to the 6 o'clock news. Today we will be covering the Freikorps and the Revolution of 1920 Germany. Germany was in great crisis from World War I and the signing of the Treaty of Versailles. Kaiser has fled, leaving no government to control the riots that are breaking out in Berlin and around Germany. Disrespected Germany, robbed by the treaty, has been stranded, but news of a new government called the Weimar government has been heard of, trying to solve the crisis. Over to Chris to tell you more on the Revolution of Germany.
Here are some events that led up to March 1920. In 1917, the Bolsheviks had taken control of Russia. They had shown that a small group of communists could overthrow a government in a revolution. In January 1919, the Spartacists staged a revolution in Berlin. After 2 weeks, the revolution was defeated and crushed by the Freikorps. The Spartacists were unhappy that the Second Reich was going to be replaced, they claimed, by another government controlled by rich people. They wanted a government which ruled on behalf of the poor and which took away the wealth of the rich. The Spartacists were founded in the summer of 1915, when both Luxembourg and Liebknecht left the SDP because of the party's support for Germany's participation in World War I. The political philosophy of the Spartacists was determined by Rosa Luxemburg, who wrote the Junius pamphlet whilst serving a prison sentence in Germany. In December 1918, some of the Spartacists, including Luxemburg and Liebknecht, founded the German Communist Party. Luxemburg had written numerous pamphlets about Lenin and how his leadership of the Russian Revolution would be of such great value to Russia. Many Europeans, especially Germans, were terrified of the Red Plague in Russia, and the adoption of the name communist was fraught with danger. Many soldiers had returned from the war fronts, massively confused with the German government and hugely suspicious of anything that smacked on the left-wing political beliefs. Many who had quit the German army joined the Freikorps. These would have been battle-hardened men who had been subject to military discipline. In January 1919, the communists rose up in revolt in Berlin. In every sense, it was a futile gesture against the government. Hubert withdrew his government to the safety of Weimar and allowed the Freikorps and what was left of the regular army to bring peace and stability back to Berlin once again. No mercy was shown to the Spartacists and communists whose leaders were murdered after being arrested. The Freikorps was better organized and armed. They also had military background. The majority of the Spartacists were civilians. No one doubted who would win.
Thank you, Sam. The Freikorps are a central role in the first attempt by the extreme right wing to seize power over the government in Berlin. They are made up of the 2 brigades previously disbanded and other ex-army soldiers. The government have been using them to prevent overthrows in the government. The meaning of the word Freikorps has changed over time. After 1918, the term was used for the paramilitary organisation that sprang up around Germany as soldiers returned in defeat from World War I. There were key Weimar paramilitary groups active during that time. Many German veterans felt disconnected from civilian life and joined the Freikorps in search of sustainability within a military structure. Last year they appeared in the news when they arrested and killed 12 workers because of a tip from a cleric describing them as communists. They also have fought in the Baltic, Silesia, Poland and East Prussia after the end of World War I. including aviation combat, often with significant success. In Latvia, Freikorps murdered 300 civilians in the town of Mito that was suspected of having Bolshevik sympathies, and after capturing Riga, a further 3,000 people were killed. Now over to Matthew.
I'm here in this safe hotel room in Berlin, the heart of Germany, but out there it's not looking good. Dr. Wolfgang Kapp and the Freikorps have marched into Berlin and trying to overthrow the Weimar government. They want to govern Germany in their own way, and the army are refusing to stop them. The Freikorps are right-side extremists, full of ex-German soldiers, experienced and angry, as they have been ordered to disband by the Weimar government. They fear that communism is overtaking Germany, and the government is not doing much about it. They want a nationalist government, and want to kick out the Weimar government, as they think they're no good. There's been lots of violence on the streets of Berlin. The Freikorps are 250,000 strong, and are very powerful and organised. They are providing a source of manpower for those who oppose the Weimar government. They think Germany will turn into a Soviet republic, and they do not want that to happen. But there has been talk of problems. There have been rumours that the workers funding the Freikorps and Kapp are going on strike, and they're not going to fund it at all. If this happens, Kapp will not be able to govern Berlin. He won't have the support or the manpower. Thank you.
Overall, the Freikorps have been fighting the Weimar government and are trying to overthrow them. The Freikorps are extremists, full of ex-German soldiers, which has been disbanded by the Weimar government. On the Weimar government side were the Spartacists, which are fighting the Freikorps. The strength of the government was still strong, but from the Freikorps revolting against the Spartacists, Germany had conflict among governments, but in all, the Weimar government was still strong and in power. Bye for now. See you at 6 o'clock tomorrow.